Hey guys, this is Clint at Manskull 101, and today I thought I'd do a short video on an advanced technique of reloading a 308 Winchester. I've been hand loading since I was 14 years old. You can tell by the gray in my beard. That's been a little while. So I've learned a couple of things, but just recently I've learned that I have a lot to learn still. So this is some stuff that I want to develop to bring our hand loading to a higher level. And so here's some of the things that we're going to do. So I have some 308 Winchester brass here, fired, and with the spent primer in it. So I'm going to lube that up good. Then we'll run it through our single stage press. This is an RCBS press that I've had since I was 18 years old. Again, a long time. This thing works great. They're bulletproof, guys. RCBS is good stuff. So we lubed it up a little bit. I'll run it through the press. Now this is a full-length sizer, so it's going to deprime it, size the body from the front of the shoulder, all the way to the head of the case. As well as this has a sizer button that'll pull through. Last thing will come back through the neck case to size that to 308 diameter. So let's run it through the die. I have my press and die set up so that it cams over pretty nicely. Now that primer pocket looks a little bit scungy in there. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to clean it up a little bit with this here handy little tool. That looks a lot better. We'll clean that neck out a little bit. I should have done that before I run it through my press, actually. I'll try to remember that next time. So now let's do a measurement. I have this Hornady dial caliper. I just got it a week or so ago, and so far pretty happy with it. I had a digital caliper before that, and I didn't like it much. The battery was always dead when I needed it, and I was a little suspicious of its accuracy. So far so good with this Hornady dial caliper. I like it. My son just got an RCBS one, and when he's here for Thanksgiving, maybe we'll do a comparison and see which one we like better. So doing an overall cartridge length right here. Make sure we center that up good. Get the shortest possible measurement. That'll be your most accurate measurement. And that shows 2 inches and 22 1/1000ths. So Sammy's specs are 2 inches and 15 1/1000ths. I want to bring it back to 2 inches and 10 1/1000ths. So now what I'm going to do, let's measure the inside of the case neck. See, now that that's all been resized, and it's showing about a diameter of 0.306. So let's run it through my sizer trimmer. Get my camera set here to capture that good stuff. All right, so this is a Forster trimmer. Set that up in the collet, kind of bump it up so it lines everything up nice with that trimmer. Snug it down good. Put just a hint of lubricant on that cutter. Now this is a 308 reamer with a case neck trimmer on the back end. So I pre-adjusted this. We'll see how close it comes out. So I don't know if you can see that brass coming off there, but we're reaming out that case neck. This is a 308 diameter reamer, and it removes a fair amount of brass there. Come back out. All right, let's run her through again. Now let's trim the case neck to length. Like I say, I adjusted that already. Hopefully it's pretty close. All right, I like to backspin that. I figure that'll probably really help smooth things out. Okay, let's take that off of there. Oh yeah, that's got a pretty good burr on the outside of the neck now. Bump that down. And then chamfer the inside. And I feel like this is critical. And this particular setup I have here is susceptible to some yaw. So I try to be careful about keeping things concentric, keeping this chamfer concentric with the case. I feel like that'd be a bad thing if you come off. So let's check our length. Oh, I come up with a 20.006. So actually I cut it off a little shorter than I wanted. I wanted to go to about a 210. So we'll try another case. Okay, so I ended up cutting that a little bit shorter, about 0.004 shorter than I wanted. So we're going to adjust that on my Forster trimmer by loosening that set screw and turning this one in a smidgen. I think that's pretty much a smidgen right there. Then lock that back down. Now we'll get another case and try it. Make sure they're lubed up. I don't want to stick a case, that's no fun. So something I didn't do before was measure the thickness of the brass at the neck. So we're at about 16 thousandths right there. Call that 16 thousandths. Turn it a little bit, check it again. 15 and a half, turn it again. 16 and a smidgen. That's about 17 there. So we have about a 0.002 variance in the thickness of that neck. Check the overall cartridge length again. And we're showing on this one here is a 2 and 10 thousandths, 2 inches and 10 thousandths. No, 11 and a half thousandths. Make sure I got that all the way bottomed out. About 210 and a half. Okay, let's run it through the press. Make sure it bottoms all the way out. Knocks the primer out. So let's remeasure now. And they, you know, they always seem to grow a little bit when you run them through the press, I got to tell you. As is the case here. This is substantially longer. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. So 2 and 17 thousandths. So again, we want to bump that back to about 2 and 10 thousandths. 10 1,000. So let's load it up in the Forster trimmer. Use the Reamer die to help with the concentricity. We'll start running in there. And we're all the way in. We'll back out. Let's go for it again. Trim the case neck if needed. I see a little bit come off there, but not much, but it was pretty close. Yeah, it didn't cut much off of there. Just squared it up, looks like. I really don't feel a burr, but I'll deburr it just a smidgen. Chamfer it carefully. Alrighty, let's do a measurement. Yeah, we didn't do enough. Now, it doesn't take much of adjustment on that set screw to make a difference. I'm at 2 and still about 18, 17 and a half. Get it down as low as it'll go. 2 at 11 and a half. Okay, so I got another one in here. I'm going to size that. Do a quick overall measurement. Taking a little bit of adjustment, a little more than I suspected. I thought it was better set up than that. So that is a 2 and 26 thousandths. All right, let's run it through the case trimmer and reamer. Lock that down good. Now I measured the inside of the neck thickness, and it was 14 thousandths. And the inside diameter after being fired, this was at 0.314. So from a 308 that expanded to 3.14, 6/1000ths of an inch it grew upon firing. But then when I resized it, my sizer takes it down to about a 306. So now we've reamed it and length sized it, deburred a little bit, chamfer carefully. Let's pop it back in there and make sure I got the length on it set okay. So that the trim length adjustment is pretty darn critical. Doesn't take much movement of that screw to make a big adjustment, and thousandths of an inch, of course, is what we're dealing with. Clean up that primer pocket a little bit here. Okay, let's do a measurement, see what we got. So we're looking for about a 2 10/1000ths is what I'm trying to get here. We're at 212. I'm going to see if I can adjust 0.02 off of that. Okay, let's set it up in the cullet again. Start that reamer for concentricity. Run in there, see if we get anything off of there. I backed it up just, I mean really, about probably 10 degrees. I don't feel like I got anything off of there. Let's look at it. No burr, I don't think I got anything. Let's try it. We're looking for 2 10/1000ths. Got nothing. Let me try again. Okay, made another slight adjustment on that. Right there. The set screw for that screw right there, which is where your length adjustment is. Try again. Oh, I seen a tiny bit come off of there. Boy, not much though. But it doesn't take much to adjust a couple thousandths. Feel just a little bit of a burr. Oh man, I think we finally hit money. Look at that, about I'm going to call that right on the money. I'm happy with that. Very good. So now, let's look at the inside case diameter. Remember, it started at a 314. We sized it down to a 306. And now we've reamed it. And it's back out to a 310, a 0.310. So, interesting. Let's run it through the press again and see what that squeezes the neck down to. Should have put a little more lube on there, I guess. It was a little tough coming out. So let's check the neck again. So we had started at a 314, sized it down to a 306. Now we've resized it right on a 305. I'll call that a 305. So that gives you 0.03 of neck tension when you seat your 308 bullet. Oh, actually, I got to a 306 right there, just with wiggling things around. 3.5, yeah, right at a 3.6. Alrighty, so that's a full length size, decap, neck size, ream, and length trim on a 308 brass. And there's going to be more to come on this type of thing. We're just really delving into the precision reloading for long range rifles. And we'll get back to you. You guys, adhere to all the safety rules. I didn't talk about it to begin with, but I wasn't using any live primers or a power tool to spin my trimmer. In those situations, you always want to wear eye protection, gloves, obey all the safety rules. It takes all the fun out of it if you get hurt. So you guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again soon.